Hey everyone, it's actually Jeb Bush, and it's been a while since I've made a video purely dedicated to speculation. So we're bringing back Tinfoil Tuesday, and we're going to be talking about Top Shot, UFC Strike, and NFL all day. I personally think there's some very interesting speculation you can do right now, as we're in this dead spot just before the NFL season starts up, the NBA season starts up soon, and UFC has a couple huge fights coming around the corner. And remember, this is not financial advice. It's a conspiracy theory. So let's start off with Top Shot. Now, I wanted to start with Top Shot because out of the three we're going to talk about today, I think I'm going to be making the most broad brushstrokes with Top Shot. The season doesn't start for a bit. We haven't even gotten the series for a roadmap dropped. So things are in a bit of a lull as we kind of gear up getting ready for that. If you're looking for some specific moments to look into, I highly recommend the TST 3-part video series that he just dropped, talking about all the possible team rares and which ones he thinks have a better chance at popping during flash challenges and when the season starts. So that'll be linked in the description below. Like I said, great 3 videos. I highly recommend checking them out. All right, so the first piece of speculation is by far the most inconsequential. This is more just for fun than anything. I think we're going to have the Run It Back drop coming soon. I think they're going to be mixed packs with a guaranteed rare, having a chance to pull a legendary. I think the rares are going to be minted out of 860 or 870 to reflect the 86-87 year that's coming out. And then the legendaries will include the Magic Johnson hookshot and maybe something with Larry Bird. Maybe where they do some sort of anthology release alongside of it. I feel like Magic can't be the only legendary if it's a mixed pack. However, if you're going to have a Bird legendary, he obviously deserves his own anthology drop as well. The next part has to do with flash challenges. We've seen burn challenges so far where all the moments in the challenge are burned, but we know hybrids are coming out where some moments will be burned and others you'll get to keep. I think that's going to be utilized the most in a meaningful way with flash challenges, especially the upper tier flash challenges. When you need a certain number of rares for a flash challenge, I think you will also have to use commons that will be burned. So the commons won't pump like crazy and affect the number of completions, but it'll be a creative and consistent way for Top Shot to continue to burn supply. And then finally, I also think they're going to do something similar when it comes to sets being released, where they're going to burn the old moments, especially common sets, in order to complete the challenges for the new challenge rewards. So using Hustle and Show for an example, the challenge would require a certain number of Series 4 moments from Hustle and Show. Then you would have to burn some moments from the Series 2 Hustle and Show release in order to complete the challenge. You get to keep the new moments, but the excess old moments from Series 2 or Series 3 get burned, decreasing the overall supply while still not affecting the new set. Because I think it is a little weird to get a brand new set or get a brand new moment and then immediately be required to burn it in order to complete a challenge. I think we will be seeing old moments burned while the newer ones are kept as is. And that's because these new releases won't have too high of circulation to begin with. So that's my thoughts on Top Shot. Once again, like I said, this is nothing crazy. These are some pretty broad brushstrokes. Once again, I do recommend the TST videos that will give you some very insightful information on rares for different players. But let's go ahead and move on to UFC Strike. So for UFC Strike, we have 2 huge cards coming up. And they're both huge in their own unique way, specifically when it comes to UFC Strike. So let's go ahead and take a look at this actual card. And you can see on September 3rd, we have UFC Fight Night headlined by Gon versus Tuivasa. Cyril Gon and Tuivasa both have Series 0 moments, and we'll take a look at them in a sec. The other notable fighter to point out is D. Chicharito. He also has a Series 0 moment. Now, Whitaker has a Series 1, but I believe the mint count is 6,000. I don't think he's going to get burned. He might be used for a challenge, but I don't think he's going to be in any way an inhibiting factor on the completion number. But if we take a look at Gon and Tuivasa specifically, we can see that Cyril Gahn here only has 716 burned, and that Tuivasa only has 666 burned. So both Gahn and Tuivasa have quite a few moments that I think need to still be burned, especially when we even compare it to some of the other fighters. Like here we have Barboza, and he has over 2,600 burned already. Now, like I mentioned earlier, Chicharito is the other fighter on that card who has a Series 0 moment. But if we look at it, we can actually see that it has even more burned than Barboza. I think this is one of the highest burned Series 0 moments at this point. In order for Tuivasa and Gon to catch up, I think we're going to see a burn challenge where you have to burn 5 Gon and 5 Tuivasa. Now, maybe you'll also have to hold a Whitaker. Maybe you'll have to hold a Chicharito or burn a single Chicharito. So the ratio is 1 to 5 between Chicharito and then Gon and Tuivasa. But I think for sure we are going to see Gon and Tuivasa moments get burned in an upcoming challenge. So if you don't have 5 or 10 of each, I don't think it's a terrible idea to grab a couple. That being said, it's important to note that they're currently a bit inflated. Tuivasa is sitting at $10 and Gon is sitting at 14. However, when we've seen burn challenges in the past, we've seen the moment usually get up to around $30. So if you're on the fence, it might not be the worst decision, like I said, to grab a couple more and then make your decision when the challenge is actually announced, which will give you a little more flexibility where you can choose what you want to do instead of being stuck having to go with the most logical decision. Now, following the Gon versus Tuivasa fight night, we have UFC 279, which I'm extremely excited about this. This is going to be some incredible fights. This card is absolutely stacked. We have Nate Diaz versus Hamzat as the main event. We have Diaz, who has a challenger moment out of 1,420 mint. And then we have the Hamzat challenger, which was the first burn challenge reward, that is sitting at a mint count of 336. It is the most expensive challenger. It is, in fact, more expensive than some champion moments, which makes this a very interesting challenge speculation. Before we go into that, let's just look at the rest of the card. We have Lee, who has a Series 0 moment. We have Ferguson, who only has a champion moment. We have Johnny Walker versus Cute Laba. Both of them have a 1,500 challenger moment. On the preliminary side, we have Pickett, who has a contender moment. Barnett, who has a Series 0 contender moment. And then on the early prelims, I don't believe we have anyone that has a UFC Strike moment. So I think there will be some sort of tiered challenge like there usually is. I'm sure Barnett and Lee might get burned in some sort of way. I think that would be cool if they required you to burn a certain amount of Lee, burn a certain number of Barnett, and then also hold a Pickett or something like that. Maybe they do 5 and 5 with Barnett and Lee for a pack or something like that. I don't know. I'm a little less certain on the contender side of things, partly because there's only 3 contender moments. 2 of them are Series 0. So there's a lot less speculation here when most of the moments that we're talking about are challenger moments where things get very interesting. Like I said, we have the Diaz, the Hamzat, we have the Cute Laba, and the Johnny Walker. So we take a look at the actual challenger moments. Like I said, we have Hamzat here. We have Diaz at a much higher mint count and a significantly lower price. And then if we keep scrolling down, we see Johnny Walker. And I think Cute Laba is somewhere close to here as well. There he is at 34. So I think the way that this challenge is going to happen is this Hamzat moment will be considered kind of an in-between a challenger and a champion moment. So the champion moment, like the Tony Ferguson, which will obviously be used as a cheat code. So if you have the Tony Ferguson, you complete the challenges, you don't have to worry about anything else. However, I think there's going to be another type of cheat code where maybe if you have the Hamzat rare and maybe one of the other 3 rares, you get to complete the challenge. And then the final way to do it is you'll have to have the Diaz Johnny Walker, and Cute Laba, all three of them to complete the challenge. Because I don't think requiring this Hamzat rare makes any sense. If since the UFC 279, there's a good chance we see a fandom moment or a rare as the reward, and you don't want to automatically bottleneck that below 336 because 336 is a very low number, a very low mint count, and I don't think UFC All Day wants to continue to go lower and lower and lower. I think they want to make it a somewhat find that sweet spot where it's between this 336 and the 1500. We saw the Usman get minted to 500. The Patty got completed to 721. We've seen the Vera get completed around the 700. So I think they want to continue down that trend where the completion rate is somewhere around 500 to 1,000. So, like I said, I think the Hamzat is going to be used as a special type of cheat code where you need the Hamzat rare as well as maybe the Diaz rare or something like that. And then if you don't have the Hamzat, there will be an alternate route in order to complete the challenge. Where I think the way it's going to be is you'll need the Diaz, you'll need the Johnny Walker, you'll need the Cute Laba, and maybe you'll need the contender moments. But once again, that doesn't really matter because the bottlenecks are going to be the challengers. So this card is going to be a very exciting fight to watch, and I think there's going to be some really cool challenge behind it, and maybe even some really cool IRL activation involving it. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens, but I'm very, very excited for these next two cards. And I'm super excited to see what Strike does with them because I think they have some really golden opportunities to either create some very special fandom moments or, like, for example, with the Gon fight, Tuivasa has a challenger moment already, but Gon doesn't. So if Gon wins, it'd be really cool for the reward to be a Gon rare. And we kind of saw that in the last challenge where I believe it was 278, or no, sorry, Vera versus Cruz, where the winner of the fight got a rare made. And so since Vera won, they released a Vera rare. So I hope we see something similar to that with Gon. And then maybe if Gon loses, I don't know where they'd go in terms of making a different rare, but maybe a Tuivasa fandom moment, or maybe they just release a rare of someone else. I don't know. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how they handle it, but I think the mechanics behind the challenge will be the same regardless of what the reward is. All right, so now that we've talked about UFC Strike, the last platform we have to discuss is NFL All Day. Now, for NFL All Day, the season is right around the corner. So I think things are about to get extremely exciting with challenges, flash challenges, OTM Rumble, all that stuff. I think things are about to get really, really fun. Now, on Thursday, September 1st, we have another pack drop, probably the last pack drop before the season starts. And it's going to be featuring the most dominant pass catchers and defensive backs of the 21st century. So I think there's going to be some sort of challenge surrounding that. Now, we just had the offensive challenge that happened where you had to have a QB, a running back, a wide receiver, and then a tight end or offensive line moment. And if you had one of each of these, then you got a reward pack. Now, I do think we're going to see a defensive version of this challenge. However, I don't think it pumps anything super crazy. This isn't a hard challenge to complete. There are a ton of different moments that you can use in order to complete it. I guess the defensive back and the team moments, if you're required to use a team moment, those would be technically the bottlenecks, but I'm not speculating hardcore into that at all. But what I do think is going to happen is I think we're going to have a challenge around the most dominant pass catchers and defensive backs of the 21st century. Something to do with this pack. Maybe not just wide receivers and DBs, but I think they'll play a part. And I think it might coincide with a tweet we saw from NFL All Day earlier, where they tweeted out filters so you could search the top 100 players. So the NFL tweeted, here's a 91 to 100. And then NFL All Day quote tweeted that with a link that gives you all the top 100 that are available on All Day right now. And then if we scroll up, we can see they did the same thing with 80 to 90, and then they did the same thing with 70 to 80. Now, these tweets were made in August 14th. Since then, the NFL has released more of this list, and the NFL All Day account has not tweeted out anything with filters or links to go check them out. So this is with a grain of sand. The speculation might not hold a lot of water, specifically being the top 100 players. But that being said, personally, I feel like there's a good chance we see some sort of challenge before the season starts where you are going to need players from that top 100 list, which would categorize some of the most dominant pass catchers and defensive backs of the 21st century. So it's very possible that they have a challenge that highlights moments from this upcoming drop and then requires moments from players that would also be considered elite talents in the NFL currently that are maybe on this top 100 list. So, once again, I don't know if it's worth going out and heavily spec buying to try and capitalize on any sort of pump. I do think All Day has done a very good job at creating multiple ways to attack a challenge, which decreases volatility and creates a much healthier economy in the long run. So I don't think we're going to see a hardcore bottleneck on one moment where it absolutely skyrockets and the rest of them pump much less. I do think we'll see some moments go up a decent amount and some moments maybe dip, but I don't think this is going to be anything super crazy. I just think we have one or two challenges coming before the season starts. And then after that, we probably get flash challenges and some regular challenges and some challenges surrounding future drops. So I think that's going to do it today. We covered a lot of ground with Top Shot, NFL All Day, and UFC Strike, hitting some interesting speculation on all three. I hope to bring back Tinfoil Tuesday, make it a little more regular now that we're going to have a lot more challenge content in the upcoming months as the NFL season starts and the NBA season starts. And UFC Strike has continued to go on, and we've done a pretty good job at hitting the spec on a lot of those and doing very well. So I hope that continues. As you know, one of my biggest guilty pleasures when it comes to these Dapper products is speculation. So I have a lot of fun making these videos, and this is stuff that I do on my own time, even if I wasn't making content about it. So I hope you got something out of this video. If you have any questions or have any speculation on your own, please feel free to leave it in the comments below. Make sure to smash that like and hit the subscribe button. And thank you so much for checking this out. As always, this is not financial advice. It's just a conspiracy theory. Please clap.